Alright, time for take 5 because my cat has just been a menace today, grabbing on this. I need to get a wireless mic ASAP. But hello, this is Donovan, and welcome to the second iteration of the On the Spot podcast, where I basically say stuff on the spot with an on the spot mic. On the spot. So, today's going to be a shorter podcast than usual. It's going to be about 10-15 minutes. I'm just going to quickly go over what had happened in the NFL. I know this is usually an MMA channel, but we're kind of going to diverge in all type of sports and just stuff going on, especially with what had happened. So it was the last week of the season recently, and there was a game, the Bills versus the Bengals, which were two dynamic teams with great quarterbacks, great systems, great coaches, great teams, great, just everything. Everything came together so well. It was like, it didn't mean anything for, getting into the playoffs since they were both, clinched it anyways. But there was a moment in the game that made it so impactful. Like, that made it to where everybody came together, and not for the right reason. So at some point during the game, there was a running play towards the outside, and defensive back Damar Hamlin went in for the tackle. After he went in for the tackle, he had then stood up and then collapsed. Some are speculating it is from cardiac arrest. Some are saying it's something else due to the ribs, like the fact that he was being stiff-armed down, that he had some type of asphyxia where he couldn't breathe. Either way, it's not a good sight for anybody to see. And I had just looked up, and it seems like they had suspended the game, which is something I would actually agree with. I don't feel as though they should continue the game after something as hectic as that, because that's not something that we're supposed to be fond about, something that we're supposed to be okay with. And so to keep continuing the game after that is something that we just cannot have in a system like this. So I honestly feel it was a good idea for them to postpone the game. Now, when the game will play, that's going to be different, because I don't know if they're going to start it in the third quarter, if they're going to start it later, earlier, we don't know. But all that I know is that my hopes are out to Damar Hamlin, and I hope that he does get better and everything. He does have a fundraiser, which has just absolutely taken off over the past few days, topping over $3.3 million in donations to the gifts from Golani, I believe is what the fundraiser is. If you guys want to drop some dough down there, help him out real quick. But to see a 24-year-old man just in the prime of his life getting paid more than he probably would ever want in a year, and just to see him just fall down like that, that's something different that we can't deny is a bad thing. And we do hope that they do change something about this, make the pads a little stiffer. I heard that they've been doing a lot of stuff with the helmets to help the CTE and concussions. I do hope that they do something about the whole, chest plate and everything. Make sure that, it doesn't flex in. It doesn't make it horrid for everybody playing. But yeah, prayers go out to him. I'm going to try to drop a couple of dollars in that donation, because, that's something nobody wants to go through. Anybody wants to go through. I believe their family was like watching the game as it was happening and had to rush to the hospital with their baby. And I was like, I cannot have that. Like, if we want the NFL to stay a professional league, we cannot have this type of stuff. Because I believe the last time something like this had happened, where somebody had collapsed on the field, especially with football, was in like the 1950s, with a lineman that had just collapsed. And I will say the other time that somebody did that was notable was the soccer game, where somebody had fatally collapsed. And we hope not to see that ever in any sports, but it also does happen. that's a high intensity sport. I mean, soccer's not like football. You know, with football it's sprints. Soccer it's a whole different area. But I do hope that he does get, you know, the recognition he needs and the help that he does need in order to have a successful career. But other than that, yeah, I just kind of wanted to bring it to everybody's attention, kind of give a lowdown on everything. Here in a little bit, I'll do my predictions on Misfits boxing card. I'm just trying to make sure that my cat doesn't, you know, break down the door that I have her in right now. But yeah, this has been Donovan with On the Spot Podcast, and I do hope you guys have a good rest of the day, and I will catch you guys later.